Hello, this is Mr. Hornsby 83 with Mr. Hornsby 83 review, and I'm reviewing Gravity Falls, the Mabel and Dipper versus the Future, and it's about their 13th birthday. It starts out with Mabel and Dipper getting prepared for their 13th birthday. Mabel wakes up Dipper with her I guess, some kind of thing them two used to do, like a little joke they had. Sorry. But then they talk about having a party there, but Stan's like, no, after the zombie debacle, we're not gonna have no more parties here. And next thing you know, we hear an explosion, and Ford's calling for Dipper. So Dipper runs in there and says, "What's wrong, Great Uncle Ford?" And Ford tells him nothing. He's like, "Well, your face is on fire on that," because it says face is on fire. He's like, "Yeah, best way to shave," or something like that. So he tells Dipper about what they got, what they're doing today. They're going to be doing a mission to seal up I guess the rift in the time thing that I guess he took from where the dimension he came from is, and they're doing that to prevent Bills from unleashing havoc in Earth and Gravity Falls and everything. Sure. And so he takes Dipper to a spot. He tells him about, well, pretty much gives him hints about a UFO being there, and then he has on his keychain UFO, and then Dipper's like, no way. So they go down in the UFO ship. They're looking for an inhibitor. On the other hand, Mabel's sitting there planning for a party. She talked earlier in the episode, talked about how they're a year away from high school, and they were going to have the party at the high school because Zeus told them that the party, that place is usually dead over the summer, or empty over the summer. So Mabel was going to have a party there, and and apparently they were doing a registration day, and they ran into Wendy. She's talking to him. Mabel's talking about how she's excited for high school, and then Wendy tells her about how terrible high school is, and then you see, a bunch of the other students going crazy, including Robbie, punching the wall, like, oh, I can't take another year of this high school. And Mabel's like, but TV said it's where you sing and dance about your whole future, but pretty much Wendy was telling her how it's really terrible, and there's nothing fun about high school, but vicious. But anyway, next up, and we get back to Dipper and Ford. They're down there in the UFO. They're hunting for the adhesive, and then Ford and Dipper trip the security system and resets it. And pretty much, some orbs come. They scan them, and Ford's telling Dipper, just don't show no fear, and they won't. They won't attack you, but Dipper, he's too chicken, and he shows fear, and next thing you know, the orb attacks him, but Ford takes down one of them, and the other one captures Ford. They found the adhesive, too, before those showed up, and it takes Ford, it was going to take you to, like, some kind of space prison or something like that, but Dipper, because he loves Ford so much, he goes to save him, and then throughout the episode, Ford's trying to convince Dipper to stick in Gravity Falls with him and become his apprentice and all that, and Dipper's not sure because he's worried about what's going to happen to Mabel and how they've never been separated, and Ford's like, isn't this suffocating? Because, when he first came on the show, they showed that him and Stan were real close until Ford was going to go to college and all that, and then Stan accidentally messed up his experiment that was going to get him into one of the greatest colleges, and them two ended up separating, having an issue with each other, and when they do see him again, that's when Ford got trapped in the portal, and Stan was doing his best to free him. And then So, anyway, Dipper finally agrees to it, and Mabel heard it over the intercom, over the speaker, because they had speakers, or not speakers, walkie-talkies, and they were like talking on them, even though his was like, Dipper's was messing up a little bit, but apparently it was working well enough for her to hear him say, yeah, I'll stay and be your, because while she's trying to get invitations for the party, she gives them the, I think it's Gretchen and Candy, and Gretchen says she's going, Meredith's taking her to his place on that day, and Candy said her parents sent her to band camp at that time, and so she's upset, and you know, she feels like the end of the world, feels like it's the end of her world, and then, you know, Stan tells her at least she still got Dipper, and then when she finds out Dipper might stay, she gets upset. Dipper tries to talk to her and calm her down and try to convince her that, you know, it'd be a good thing for him to stick around with Ford and be, you know, help Ford investigate Gravity Falls and that and save the world from Bill's butt. Mabel was still upset. She took the bag, ran off, and she grabbed Dipper's bag by accident, which had the little space-time globe, which was cracked, and they were going to fix it. And Ford's like, well, let me guess, Mabel didn't take it well, and he's like, yeah, you know, I don't know if I should stick around with you to do this, because, you know, Mabel, and then, like, Ford says, well, let's fix this crack, this rift in the space thing, and he finds out that he's got Mabel's bag, so they try to find Mabel, but by the time they try to find her, it's done too late, because Bills had taken over Blendington, who is a time traveler, police officer, I guess, and he tricks her into giving him that, and he takes it, drops it, and then, like, he takes off the glasses, start laughs, and I guess Mabel realized it was Bill's. And, so she gets up, so he puts her to sleep or whatever he did, and after that, he then says, finally, the world is mine, and Dipper and Ford run out, and they're like, it's the end of the world, and, you know, you hear the, thundering and all that, and, you hear people screaming because of the torture, and like a few episodes back, Ford was explaining to Dipper what would happen if Bills ever got what he wanted, and it happened, and the prophecy came true, I guess, so. Next episode won't be till the 26th, I believe that might be the final episode, so. They might be ending the show. I know it's gotten, I know when it first came on, it was getting a lot of criticism, and it was underappreciated, but apparently there must have been a big enough fan base for it to get it revived or whatever. But I think it's a pretty decent show. I started watching it when they put it on Disney XD, and I really started watching it, I believe, the beginning of this year, so. But I think the show's a pretty good show. I think it just, you know, got too much flack for being a little too dark, and, you know, the certain storylines in there were a little adult. But, yeah, I think it's a pretty decent show. In this episode, I'll give a 4 out of 5. It really was a very good episode, and I can't wait to see the next one. Here in a few minutes, I'll be doing a theory on the Tommy saga and Friday the 13th again. I'm not freaking going to be talking about it. I'm just going to have some theory that I came up with because I've been watching the Friday the 13th movies the past few days, and even before that I kind of realized I think they had a different plan for, you know, the next chapter of Friday the 13th before I guess they changed their plans. But until then, peace out.